amnesty for 8 million detention camp surge and USCIS marriage crackdowns. What just happened in U.S. immigration law might impact millions of lives. A new amnesty bill just hit Congress. FEMA is funding state-run detention centers. USCIS is cracking down hard on marriage fraud, and immigrants are getting arrested outside preschools. Let's unpack what's really going on. A bold amnesty proposal. 8 million could qualify. Senator Alex Padilla is making headlines again. He's reintroducing a powerful immigration proposal that could legalize more than 8 million undocumented immigrants in the U.S. This isn't just a small policy tweak. The bill updates the immigration registry law, which hasn't changed since 1986. Back then, the cutoff date was 1972. If passed, the new version would allow rolling eligibility based on how long someone has lived in the U.S. Here's what that means. If you've lived in the U.S. continuously for 7+ years, and you don't have a serious criminal record, you could apply for a green card, even if you're undocumented. That includes Dreamers, TPS holders, a long-term visa overstayers, undocumented families living quietly in the U.S. for years. Economists estimate this could add $120 billion in new economic activity annually, with $35 billion in tax revenue. But there's a catch. Even with a press conference in D.C. and renewed media coverage, the bill faces an uphill battle. There's very little appetite in Congress for immigration reform right now. Critics call it blanket amnesty. Supporters say it's about fairness and stability. Either way, this proposal is reigniting the debate just in time for 2026 elections. FEMA is funding new immigration detention camps. In a dramatic shift, the Trump administration has activated FEMA to expand immigration enforcement. A new $68 million grant program was just announced. It allows states to build, manage, or outsource immigration detention centers with direct federal funding. This is unprecedented. Florida is already in. Its Alligator Alcatraz detention complex, which costs $450 million per year, will now serve as the national model. What's different now? Under Biden, FEMA grants went to shelters and nonprofit humanitarian housing. Under Trump, FEMA is backing hard infrastructure, detention, and removal systems. States now have the green light to apply by August 8th. Build their own detention camps. Contract out management to private firms. The consequences? More people detained, faster removals, and states taking the lead in federal immigration enforcement. In-state tuition for undocumented youth being erased. The Trump administration is also targeting undocumented students. In July, Texas and Florida both repealed their in-state tuition laws for undocumented immigrants. That's a huge reversal, especially for Texas, which once led the country in tuition equity. Here's what's happening. DOJ lawsuits argue that undocumented students are getting benefits that out-of-state citizens don't. Texas colleges could lose over $460 million a year. Florida faces a $15 million tuition revenue loss. And more states are lining up to do the same. What does this mean? Even top-performing undocumented students, many of whom were brought to the U.S. as children, are being priced out of higher education. And it's only getting worse. U.S. halts all visa processing in Niger. Globally, tensions are also boiling. On July 25th, the U.S. State Department suspended all visa services in Niger. This includes immigrant, non-immigrant, student, and tourist visas indefinitely. Why? Diplomatic tensions are rising after Niger expelled U.S. troops earlier this year. While no public reason was given, a cable quietly went out instructing embassies to halt visa operations. Diplomatic and official visas are exempt, but everyone else is blocked, regardless of case status or country of interview. This move could affect thousands of families with ongoing petitions, and there's no timeline for when services will resume. USCIS marriage crackdown. Arrests after interviews. The marriage-based green card process just got riskier. Immigration attorneys are now reporting that USCIS is flagging couples and detaining applicants directly after interviews. Even if the marriage is real, lack of documentation can trigger serious consequences. In Wyoming, a South African applicant was detained after marrying a U.S. citizen. He had overstayed his visa and had a record. USCIS flagged it under INA Section 204C, a permanent bar for fraud. But here's what's new. Officers are referring more cases to ICE. Arrests are happening immediately after failed interviews. Denials can now come without second chances or warnings. Marriage fraud now carries up to 5 years in prison and $250,000 in fines. If your I-130 was denied in the past, be very cautious about reapplying without legal help. This crackdown is real and aggressive. Viral IC arrest outside preschool sparks outrage. In Oregon, a father was arrested by IC agents outside his child's daycare. Dashcam footage shows him comforting his baby as officers smashed the window and detained him. The man was reportedly adjusting status through marriage and had passed his green card interview. ICE claimed he overstayed and resisted arrest. The agency insists the child was safely dropped off, but public reaction has been fierce. This case raises major concerns about force used in front of children, warrantless arrests in public spaces, surveillance of immigrants already in the system. Here's the truth. If you're in a public space, even your car, ICE can legally arrest you without a warrant. Know your rights and be extremely cautious in high-risk states. Haitians banned from K1 Fianc Visas. Haitian nationals are still facing a near-total ban on U.S. visas, even fiancé visas. Yes, you heard that right. Even if your interview is scheduled in a third country like the Bahamas, applicants are being denied solely based on Haitian nationality. This applies to K1 Fiancé visas, tourist visas, family petitions. The only exception is for immediate relatives of U.S. citizens, and only with a difficult-to-obtain waiver. As of now, the promised 90-day review of the ban is still pending. No updates have been released by DHS or State Department. The freeze continues. Can you marry during removal proceedings? Yes, but it's complicated. If you're in removal proceedings, you can still marry a U.S. citizen and apply for a green card, but the burden of proof is much higher. Here's what you need to know. USCIS requires strong evidence the marriage is genuine. You must file I-130 through Immigration Court or BIA. The process is slower, tougher, and highly scrutinized. Your marriage must be airtight. Anything that looks rushed or inconsistent could be treated as fraud. Can you apply for citizenship after a waiver? If you've had a waiver for a criminal offense and now want to naturalize, tread carefully. Even if the green card was approved, USCIS can reopen the issue during the N-400 process. Under Trump's 2025 rules, past offenses, even minor ones, are being re-examined. Applicants could face naturalization denial, ICE referral, even removal depending on the case. Don't assume a waiver clears your record. Always consult an immigration attorney before applying. SIJS program under fire for alleged gang abuse. The Special Immigrant Juvenile Status (SIJS) pathway is also tightening. USCIS recently claimed that some SIJS applicants were gang members abusing the system. As a result, deferred action has been removed. Work permits are harder to obtain. Scrutiny is increasing at every step. Lawyers are warning SIJS applicants to prepare stronger documentation and expect delays, denials, or even court notices. This program once offered protection to vulnerable youth. Now, it's becoming a target in the new enforcement playbook. Wrap up. From 8 million potential green cards to state-run detention camps to preschool IC arrests, the U.S. immigration landscape is shifting fast. Some doors are opening, others are slamming shut. Stay informed, stay protected. If you like this video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon for future updates. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.